If you want to start an Airbnb business that you're going to be able to run remotely from anywhere in the world, then these are the 5 things that you're going to need to systemize. If you're just getting started in Airbnb and you haven't got that property yet, you might not even be aware of any of these things. If you have got started already, then you're going to know all about them because you're going to be swamped. But before I get into it, I want to be clear. Airbnb is a business that can take over your life. It's a hospitality business. Guests are going to have demands and questions. It can be 24/7. It's a business that can tie you down geographically and swallow up all your time with all the fires coming to you that you have to put out, all of the plates that you have to spin. But there is a way to achieve time, geographical and financial freedom, and it's through systemizing the business. So I talk about these systems and a whole lot more about how to start an Airbnb business in my Amazon #1 best-selling book, which you can click the link below and get. Okay, so let's get into it. What is the #1 thing you need to systemize to give you freedom? Well, you may have already guessed it. It's cleaning. So the #1 thing that you need to systemize to get off your plate, to get someone else to do, is help with the housekeeping. Cleaning the property after each set of guests leave is the biggest drain on your time and the first thing that you need to get off your plate and onto someone else's. Cleaning the property is a functional task, meaning that almost anyone can do it. But if it's you that's going to be doing it, then you're going to be stuck facilitating everyone else's holiday and not have any time for your own. So the first thing you need to do is get one or maybe even a team of cleaners that you're going to be able to communicate with and arrange for them to come in, get the place ready after one set of guests leave before the next set arrive. Now, this is often easier said than done. Remember, these cleaners are your eyes and ears on the ground. They are the ones who need to tell you if a guest hasn't checked out, if something's been broken, if something needs replaced. So you really have a lot of trust that you need to put in them. And in reality, you're probably going to kiss a lot of cleaning frogs before you find your prince. There are specific things about cleaning an Airbnb property that are very different to cleaning a domestic property. For example, if you have a cleaner in your own home, chances are you don't want them to look in any of your drawers or cupboards. But if it's an Airbnb, they absolutely need to look in every drawer and every cupboard. They need to remember to clean out the fridge, check all the pots and pans are clean. There are so many different things that are specific to Airbnb cleaning. So you're going to have to train a cleaner up. And you can use a checklist to give them prompts to remind them, check the fridge, check underneath the sofa, all these little things that are unique to not only Airbnb, but your specific property. The second most important thing that you're going to need to systemize is the linen, the bed sheets. Who is going to take care of that? You absolutely don't want it to be you, otherwise you're going to have to be there when the cleaner arrives, take the linen off, wash it, iron it, and put it back on the bed. So you do not want to be doing that. You can hopefully get your cleaner on board with this, and he or she can either wash the linen at the property or at their house, or they can drop off and pick up from a local laundrette. But these 2 things are so important to get off your plate. They tie you geographically to that property so that every changeover has to have you in it. So you want to wrestle yourself away from that so the changeovers become someone else's duties. The third crucial system that you absolutely need to systemize to get you away from the property is maintenance. So we've already talked about how your cleaners are your eyes and ears, and honestly, if they don't tell you, guests will tell you when they arrive if something's broken or needs fixed. Now, when I first started out, I used to arrive down at the property myself, tool bag in hand, and very quickly realized I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. It was often a waste of my time and also really embarrassing as I stood there with the guests looking over my shoulder while I realized I didn't have a clue how to fix the thing. So it's really important that you have a team of tradespeople, a plumber, electrician, general maintenance person that's going to be able to step in at pretty much short notice to be able to fix anything that goes wrong in the property. Now, one thing to think about is if you're outsourcing this to someone else, you absolutely need to troubleshoot with the guest before you call on these tradespeople. So let me give you an example. If a guest comes in and says the radiators aren't working, so the heating is off, the heating isn't working, it's really important that you get them to check every other radiator in the property to make sure that the previous guest hasn't just switched off one of them. Likewise, if they say there's no hot water, instead of phoning a plumber straight away or a gas engineer, it's important that you check with the guest, make sure the boiler's switched on, make sure the thermostat hasn't been tampered with. All these little things can save you time and save the call out fee for the professional. The next system that you need to implement in your Airbnb business to give you freedom is not only a system, but it's a piece of tech. So it's a channel manager. If you don't know what a channel manager is, it's a one-stop shop, a website or a platform that you plug your property into and it links up to all the big booking sites, Airbnb, Booking.com, Expedia, everything. It's one place that you log into, your bookings all come into here, you can make changes and those changes are pushed out to all those sites. So if you want to change your content, change it once in the channel manager and it pushes it out. If you want to change your photos, all of that changes. This is a massive time saving because if you're just starting out, chances are you're only on Airbnb. By being on a channel manager, it unlocks all these booking sites, which in reality is going to get your property in front of millions and millions more people. It's not only going to be a massive time saver because you don't have to go into every different booking site and change things, but it's also going to eliminate a lot of mistakes. So if you had to previously change your rates in Airbnb, then log out, log into booking.com, change your rates, the chances of human error there are so big. All it takes is for you to add an extra zero onto the nightly rate, or not enough zeros onto the nightly rate, and you're in big trouble. If you've been syncing your calendars, there's always the chance of a double booking. With a channel manager, that completely removes this error. Now, which channel manager should you use? Well, in reality, there are loads out there, and it's up to you to pick which one fits your personal preferences and does everything you need it to do. And the last system that you need to put in place is another piece of tech, another little bolt onto your channel manager, and it's a rate pricing software. If you don't know what that is, it's a piece of software that scrapes data from the market. It knows what the demand is like in your area at a given time, and it adjusts your rates automatically. Now, this is an absolute game changer in terms of saving time, but also increasing your revenue. As Airbnb hosts, we're very quick to spot little gaps in our diary and often reduce our prices down. But what we're not so good at doing is seeing where we've missed out, where we could have put our rates up in periods of high demand. This is where rate pricing software comes in. It knows that demand is high 6 months in advance for some strange conference or some weird holiday that you don't even know is coming, and it puts your prices up so you get the best rates for your property. Now, all of these systems cost money, but it's important not to think of them as costs. Think of the costs for all of these systems as investments. You put in some money and you get back your time. And remember, with any business, the goal is not money. The goal is to be able to have enough money to spend your time whatever way you want. If you put these systems in place, you're going to be able to run your Airbnb from anywhere in the world, on a beach, in a cafe in Paris, even while you're asleep. You're going to have so much more time to focus on the vital tasks that only you can do. Delivering exceptional customer service to your guests, focusing on getting those 5-star reviews, and just watching the business grow. It also frees you up to add in more property, more inventory into your portfolio. If you're stuck drowning under all the tasks from one property because you have to do everything yourself, you're never going to have the capacity to grow to more than one. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please subscribe and leave me a comment. What systems do you want to know more about?